Well, hello there, Virgo. How are you? It is so good to see you. I'm Mary Sue, and I'm so grateful that you're here. So today, I'm really excited because we are doing your Pluto in Aquarius tarot reading. So this is really good for the next 3 months because let's do a little history really quick. Pluto moved into Capricorn in 2008, and it moved into your 5th house of passion and creative expression. So since 2008, the last 15 years, right, you may have explored new passions, new ways to express yourself creatively. You could have started even a creative business. It was a time of exploration. You could have even done some traveling or just, trying to make your life, centered more around what it is that brings you a lot of pleasure, spending time playing more. And so it was a lovely energy, right? And there also could have been some transformations in the people around those, hobbies, creative expressions. It could have brought in some new people, and it could have put you in an energy of letting go of some relationships that weren't in alignment with how you wanted to express yourself to the world. So now, March 23rd, Pluto began its transit into Aquarius. It'll actually be there until June of this year, and then it'll kind of wobble between Capricorn and Aquarius for the rest of 2023. And then in January, it'll go into Aquarius and stay there for the next 20 years. So we're first going to take a look at these next 3 months, how Pluto will come into play. It's moving into your 6th house of wellness and daily routines. Over the next 3 months, you are going to get a taste of what the next 20 years are about. So you could be experiencing situations in your life or looking for ways to make your daily life more in alignment for what it is that you want in your health, in your wellness, and in your everyday life. So the last 5 years, you could have had a very kind of the last 15 years, you could have had a very kind of like flexible schedule, or, moved into having more kind of an open schedule, more creative, more flowy. And now you're kind of moving into an energy of perhaps wanting more of a schedule, of a routine, of understanding that you may, even though you want to stay creative, perhaps continue with your creative business if you started one. At the same time, it's kind of like understanding, okay, when I have a routine, when I prioritize what it is that I want to get done, I'm actually more productive and fulfilled. I feel more fulfilled with a routine. So this is a lovely energy for you. Pluto is all about transformation. It is the Scorpio energy. So it does mean that some secrets may be revealed to you over the next 20 years. So it's not like a tower moment right off in this next 3 months. But what we're going to do is first take a look at what you may have learned or the insights that you gained in that 5th house of passion and creative expression since 2008. Then we're going to look at your present energy of where you are now in your 6th house of daily habits and wellness. And then we're going to take a look at what secret might be revealed to you over the next 3 months until June. And then a blessing that will come out of that secret that is revealed, because sometimes secrets can be a little bit of a tower moment or a little bit, shocking, or they can be an epiphany, right? But then there's always a blessing with it. And then finally, we're going to take a look at advice from Spirit about how you can kind of continue this transit in an easier flow for you. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. We have your overall energy is fellow travelers. Support is all around you. Okay, so I'm actually going to move my microphone there. One of the things is that you could right now, Virgo, feel like you have had to let go of a lot of people. Perhaps you wanted to creatively express yourself. That could have meant that, maybe you started a band and started traveling, around performing. You could have almost, you know, gone into your hermit energy a little bit of going within and trying to create something new, right? And sometimes when we get into that really creative expression, we can kind of like, you know, isolate ourselves, you know. So you could have felt like, you know, you're at this junction. It's almost like a junction that they're showing me here, where you are trying to decide, okay, what am I doing as I move forward? What do I want my daily life to look like? And who do I want on that path? Because I feel like for some of you, you have kind of let some people go in your life. You also have travel on the bottom. I think you could be thinking about moving. There is this energy of wanting to move, understanding that maybe where you are isn't conducive to your sense of wellness, to your sense of daily routine. You could be finding yourself that, you know, you've kind of ended up in an area, right, where there's a lot of creatives, and yet at the same time, you're understanding that you may feel like you're just kind of floating through life, a little bit of floundering, and you're understanding there's kind of like this internal pull to bring more structure to your life, and you're understanding, okay, maybe I need to move to be closer to people or situations that will help bring that structure to my life. Really interesting. And then you have push. Don't feel inadequate. Forget how to quit. Push on no matter how things look. I feel like you're at this, it's a junction. It's not a word I usually use, but they keep saying that. You're kind of like at a crossroads. You know, it is this junction of trying to decide, do I stay in this kind of like, I don't want to say that it's a little bit of a nomad type of energy. Do I stay in this kind of nomadic type of energy, or is it time for me to settle down? There's almost a sense of wanting to settle down. Yes. And then you have the Two of Swords. I really do feel like you're kind of like trying to decide, making almost like a big decision over the next 3 months about what it is that you want the next 20 years to look like. For some of you, you may not be in like a committed relationship or something and feeling a little bit like, okay, I want to be in a committed relationship. I want to settle down. Maybe you have been kind of, you know, voyaging a little bit, and it's time to settle down. So let's take a look at the insight that you have gained, or the transformation since 2008 while Pluto was in your 5th house. You have growth, feel open, willing, and proud of your desire to explore new opportunities and self-development, increase, and the Two of Cups. Okay. I really feel like one of the insights that you've gained does not mean that you're actually doing this right now. Okay. I want to stress that, because I feel like some of you may have this insight at this time, but your life isn't in this position at this time. And that is one of the things that you want to change as you move forward. It's almost kind of like you've gone through these last 15 years. And I'm not saying that you're not in a place where you want to be, but I think you have this insight that this isn't where you are, is not where you really want to be. It's kind of like, okay, I have to make a big move. And you may not have been ready to make this move. And now it's kind of like this energy of, yes, I am ready to make this move. The insights that you have learned, I feel, is that you work better when you're around other people that are kind of in alignment or on the same page, or, you know, these fellow travelers. And right now you may not have those people in your life. I feel like you may have gone it alone for a little bit. And now you're recognizing, wait a minute, I really do want to have, you know, it could be a romantic partner. It could be a business partner. It could just be other creatives or people that do similar things that you like to do. It's this energy of, I really want to have some relationships in my life. And especially if you don't have a relationship or or deep connections at this time, I think what you're recognizing is that that is something that you are missing. And that's one of the changes that you are making as you move forward. And then you have the growth card. Feel open, willing, and proud of your desire to explore new opportunities for self-development. I think that's what you have learned over the last 15 years. There is this energy of you have just kind of like maybe put out new projects. Maybe some of them went really well for you. Some of them didn't. But one of the things that you realized over the last 15 years is that you like to express yourself through what you are creating and putting out into the world. And that you're okay if it doesn't necessarily take off, right? There's this energy of part of the journey is just the process. Part of the journey is just sharing what you have to share with others, whether it is a creative project, a new business, your ideas, starting a website, whatever it is. It's kind of like, okay, part of my journey is just sharing what I know. Yeah, I feel as if there has been a lot of conflict. You've had to have a lot of patience almost with yourself, I'm going to say, because, you know, there's this energy where you feel you could have felt like you were competing a lot against a lot of other people. When we are creative, right, and we're putting out our creations, there is this tendency in our society to kind of like judge or cancel or, you know, just kind of critique. It's this energy of, okay, one of the things I think you had to get over was perhaps creating things and then there was critique around them, right? You could have even, because you have a little bit of that perfectionism in you as a Virgo, right? You could have even been kind of like critiquing yourself. Part of it is understanding that you've balanced that out. What you're understanding is, well, it doesn't really matter if it's truly accepted by the world or other people. If I'm enjoying doing it, it's worth it doing it. It's worth putting the time in and the energy into it. And this is actually helping you to move into a new kind of way of living, because with the Wheel of Fortune, it's the blessings coming in, understanding you could have actually been holding back some of your creative projects or really putting yourself out there, expressing yourself to your highest level because you were concerned about competition or what other people may think, or you felt like it wasn't good enough, you know, any of those types of energy. Now you've transformed that. That is the wonderful thing, is that understanding that part of who you are is being around people that are supportive of you, but also understanding that when you share yourself with the world, you also attract in people that want what you have to offer, right? Whereas it could be, Pluto can be a difficult energy. It could be that since childhood, you felt like whatever you created wasn't good enough, right? You could have been a creative and everybody else in your family was kind of like business oriented or entrepreneur or something like that. And you had more of this creative expression that you wanted to put out there. And it could have been that maybe your family wasn't really supportive of what it was that you wanted to do. I feel like now you're recognizing, okay, whether it's my family, my friends, other people, new people coming onto my path, I want to surround myself with people that appreciate what it is that I'm doing, and really stepping into that energy of knowing that it's almost like your responsibility, okay, to put yourself in an arena where people will appreciate what you're doing. Okay, so in other words, if your family doesn't appreciate what you're doing, it's time to kind of pack your bags and go find some other people that will appreciate it. It doesn't mean you have to say goodbye to your family forever. You know, it's just understanding, okay, I may want to move to another city where there are other people that see the world the way that I do, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that you're saying no to your family for the rest of your life, right? It's like you can visit on the holidays, you can call them once a week, but it's also understanding that on a day-to-day basis, I want to be around people that see the world the same way that I do, that appreciate what I have to offer. And it's a beautiful energy. I think it is kind of a difficult decision for you to make. And yet at the same time, I think you're ready to make that decision, to make that move, especially in these next 3 months. I think you're putting that plan into action. So let's see where you are right now in your present energy, 2023, especially in your 6th house of daily work, daily work habits, wellness habits. Okay, so you have perfectionism. Interesting. Okay, be content to know perfectionism as a distant utopian goal to which we journey but never arrive. Okay, so I feel like there is this energy where that's kind of interesting because I didn't even see this card and that energy was coming up before. It could be that with your wellness, so that could be your physical appearance, your fitness level. There could be this energy where you have felt like it had to be perfect in order to put yourself out there. It could be that what you are creating, you felt like had to be perfect. Now what you're understanding, you're moving into this energy of understanding that wanting to be perfect is actually holding you back from what it is that you really want. Once again, they're coming back. It could go back to your childhood where you were, Virgo, perfectionism is a little bit of a trait for Virgos, but you could have also been conditioned by your upbringing. Okay, that perfectionism, having that facade of perfectionism in your family was a trait. Okay, that if you launched a business, it had to be successful, or else you weren't very good at it, right? It could also have something to do with you feeling as if you're not perfect, then I don't know. They're saying intelligence, like maybe you're not as smart as other people in your family, especially like siblings or something like that. There's this sense of competition, like comparing what you are doing, creating, putting out there into the world, comparing yourself to other people or where they are on their path. And then we have hidden motivation and the Emperor. I feel like you want to be this entrepreneur. There is this energy where I feel like you have been a little bit kind of exploring your creative side, but now you want to take your creative energy, something that you have found within yourself, a way for you to express yourself and begin a business. If you haven't already started a business, there's this energy of, okay, I have this hidden motivation to be an entrepreneur. Now, I'm going to say that there's almost like oxymoron, or I don't know, there's dual thinking here, right? You could be kind of experiencing a little bit of cognitive dissonance with this, because there's this energy of, no, I want to be kind of like a nomad. I want to have flexibility, independence. I want to be super creative. You're coming out of that energy and now coming into this energy where I feel like part of your creative exploring could have been a little bit, I'm not going to say you were truly rebelling against your upbringing, but a little bit of that energy of, I'm not competing. Like you could have said, I'm taking myself out of the competition. The rest of my family is very much into business or producing, divine masculine energy, do, right? And I'm going to take myself out of that competition. You could have gone through a phase where it was kind of like, I'm not doing that. I'm going to, be a free thinker. I'm going to explore my independence and freedom, almost that nomad energy. And now what you're doing is you're wanting to also create. You're kind of like have gone from one end of the pendulum to the other, right? Not quite so much. You're just kind of coming back to the middle. You're balancing yourself out. But there is this energy of, oh my goodness, well, if I start a business using my creative expression, right? Or whatever it is, your business, or going back into a job, right? Am I going against what I said I was rebelling against, right? Am I becoming I don't want to say the enemy, but am I going to the other side? You could almost feel like you're kind of going to the dark side, right? But I love this energy because what you're doing is you're really kind of exploring who you are. And yeah, I think for a long time you've been kind of waiting. I think you've been observing. It's almost like you've been observing these other people, whoever you're competing against. This could be friends from, you know, high school or college. This could be siblings, cousins, you know, society at large. You know, it's almost as if you've been holding yourself back. You've been observing. I actually think it's a really good thing, because I think what you have been doing is observing what these other people, right? The other people that went into business or were very entrepreneur. I think you've been observing them and taking notes. It's really a great energy, because it's kind of like, okay, I let them go and do to figure it out. I let them figure it out. I just sat here and I took notes, and now I'm ready to take action. It's almost as if you looked at them and you were kind of like, okay, I like that they did this, that worked out, and that they did this, that didn't work out. So I'm not going to do that. It's almost like you're allowed them to become your role model, whether you were rebelling against them or didn't want to compete with them or whatever. It's a really beautiful energy. It really is, because it's kind of like you let them go do their thing, right? And you just took notes, and now you're ready to take advantage. I love this. Take advantage of what they have done, especially in their wellness and daily habits, right? How did they structure their days in order to have the success that maybe they have had, right? And or to have the health and the fitness that they may have had, instead of trying to, well, an all or nothing. If I can't be perfect, I'm not going to do it. You're taking notes and kind of softening your idea of perfectionism. Wow, beautiful energy, Virgo. So let's see what secrets are going to be revealed in these next 3 months. Okay, really, you have the present power. So this is, you know, that strength energy, Leo energy, and then you have the judgment, okay? And then details. Examine your situation, take care of every detail, one step at a time. Okay, so I feel like that is part of what you're learning. In the past, you could have made some radical, big changes in your life without putting a lot of time and energy into planning it out. You could have been a little bit spontaneous. And one of the things that you're kind of coming into play here is, I feel like what you're going to recognize is that maybe one of those quick moves that you made in the last 15 years, perhaps even just like in the last 3 or 4 years, okay? Maybe even the last 2 years here, how it's played out and how it may have affected you financially, okay? So you made a quick change and it may not have turned out the way that you wanted it to, but there is a situation here where I feel like you are perhaps going to get a chance to have a little bit of a do-over. Like, I think I think you walked away from something, okay? And it could have been a relationship, it could have been a job, it could have been a project, it could have been anything. I think you kind of walked away. You didn't really, I think you just literally walked away, but it was a really sudden decision. It all happened maybe in just a couple of days, or, you know, like a week or two. You made a big change. You know, you quit your job, or you left a relationship or something. And I feel like there is this energy of recognizing that when you make quick, big changes in your life, okay, that maybe it doesn't turn out the way that you would really like it to. So there's this, almost this energy here where I feel like you get maybe a little bit of a do-over at a relationship or a job or a career that you walked away from before, okay? But you've learned the lesson. It's kind of like you've learned your lesson, and I think that you are going to have a second chance at this, okay? So it doesn't necessarily mean that the person from the past is going to come back, although they could with the Judgment card and the Six of Cups, okay? But there's somebody that is coming in that may somewhat resemble somebody from the past, okay? So at first you may be, you know, a little bit concerned. Oh no, they're just like that person. But then when you think about it, I think what you're going to recognize is, wait a minute, I really miss what that person had for me or brought into my life. Same thing with a job, right? It's almost like you're revisiting something that you left at some point in the last 15 years and recognizing that is exactly what I want back in my life. Whether it's that same job or that same person, it doesn't matter. It's kind of like, okay, I'm ready to bring that back into my life. So let's see where that leads, or the blessing. Yeah, I mean, I feel like you have a new beginning. Once again, I feel like something is coming back into your life. Cooperation. Your goal can benefit you from surrounding yourself with people, like-minded people, the people that you work with. I really like this because this is about your daily life. Like, I feel like whatever, you know, like say you quit kind of like a corporate job, and you kind of were a creative and explorative and worked on your own, maybe, you know, gig kind of mentality, you know, or nomadic or something like that. What you're recognizing now is that you really miss going perhaps to an office every day and being with people, being around fellow travelers, people that are working on similar things that you are working on. And I feel like you're taking a step. The blessing here is that what you may feel like is a mistake that you made in the past isn't a mistake, because now you understand the value of working with other people, cooperating with others, creating with others. Whereas I think you had to go through this time where you were kind of like just working by yourself, creating by yourself. What you're recognizing is, no, wait a minute, I want to create with others. That is a blessing. That really is, because I feel like you're making those changes then in your life. You're putting yourself in alignment, perhaps moving, right? Moving closer to people that you can work with that are in alignment, creating similar things that you are wanting to create. So let's see what your advice here is. Yeah, communication and teacher. I feel the clarity, interactivity, and timing of communications is crucial. I think there's an energy here where you may be wanting to go back to school to learn something. There is a timing factor. You know, of course, if you want to start like you know, go to college or take some classes, those only start, you know, on certain dates. It's also understanding who else would I like to have in my life that could help me to either where you are a teacher for others, or you are putting yourself in line to learn from somebody else, right? And that using your intuition, you know, to guide you through this kind of, you know, I feel like, you know, your intuition, I think when you made this radical change, sudden change in your life, and you could have made a couple of them. I think when you did that, you did it so quickly. It was like you may have gotten like a download or something that, you know, this relationship really isn't going to go anywhere, or this job isn't really going to go anywhere. But the thing is that you acted on it impulsively. I feel like there was this impulsive action. And now it's kind of like understanding, okay, intuition, you can get the information in you know, in a quick download, but it doesn't mean, okay, I'm, you know, that's the 5D. You live in the 3D. If you get this download that your job really isn't on your true path, right? It doesn't mean that you go, oh, I got this download. Okay, let me go in and tell my boss I'm quitting right now, right? There is something about figuring it out, the details, making a plan, you know, understanding, oh, wait a minute, you know, I have to plan out financially. How am I going to support myself? You know, if you're leaving a relationship, okay, Where are we going to say you've been living together or you're married? Okay. Okay. Well, how does that work? Where are we going to live? If you have children with them, it's kind of like, okay, you can make big changes, but you don't make big changes suddenly. There is this energy of taking your time. Yeah. And then this helps you to bring, look at this. I feel like you're bringing balance, right? A balance back into this area that is really kind of being highlighted for you in the next 3 months. That could be a relationship because we have the Two of Cups. It could be a business relationship. It could be a romantic relationship. It could be a friend or a family, but it could be a Cancerian, Pisces, Scorpio, a lot of water energy here. Okay. How can we work together? I feel like you are reaching out to somebody, and asking, how can we work together? I think you've been toying about this for some time, but it's time to make that move, because I feel like it's kind of blocking you. If you're resonating with this at all, I feel like it's kind of blocking you from what it is that you really want to go and create. Okay, so let's pull a final card for advice for you, Virgo. And oh, I forgot to say in the intro, with this Pluto in Aquarius energy, I really have kind of gone down the rabbit hole with it. I've really enjoyed it. And I put together a reflection journal that is free. It's a free download. And it's in the description box below. The link for it is in the description box below. If you're resonating with this at all, it will help you to reflect in your own life, where you your mindset in 2008, your mindset now, and help you to set intentions for what you would like between now and 2044, the next 20 years. So I hope you enjoy that. It's kind of my gift to you. And Virgo, I do personal readings. So if you're interested, the link is in the description box below. I'd really be honored to do a reading for you. All right, so let's see what your final advice is. Growing. Today, I understand that I am here to learn, to discover, and grow. When I nourish myself with my inner light, my inner divinity grows. When I study the messages that life brings me, I am improved in the eyes of God. When I strike a balance between the material and spiritual worlds, I am freed of inner conflicts. In these ways, I grow my own soul. Wow. Beautiful energy there, because I feel like that is kind of that 3D, 5D information, like understanding that we do live in the material world. I think for some of you, you may have wanted to, I don't want to say deny yourself. I feel like there was almost this energy of, well, there's more to life than material things, right? You could have been very simplistic in your life. You could have almost chosen jobs that maybe were lower in pay, because it was kind of like, okay, because I'm taking a job because it's for the better of the collective, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, right? But I think that what you're doing is you're kind of coming back into a balance, okay, of understanding that what you have to offer to the world is valuable, right? And that you are here to enjoy the material things, that you are wanting, that there's nothing unspiritual about having those things or those experiences in your life that require money. Okay, so if you do want to, say you want to hike the Alps or something like that, that's a tremendous experience, right? But it would cost money. It would cost money. And that, there's nothing wrong with, creating material resources to help you to buy some of those experiences, and to bringing in this into balance, that I feel like for some of you, you may have grown up in a family where you either were conditioned to think that money was evil, businesses were evil, or you could have had people in your life where that were really into material things, and you recognized, oh my goodness, I don't like the way that person is living their life. You know, they could have, I don't know, been backstabbing or something like that, and you didn't like the way that they were living their life, so you kind of like rebelled against it. It was kind of like, yeah, that's not what I want for myself. But now what you're recognizing is that there is a way to balance these, you know, to balance the material world, the 3D, and the spiritual world, the 5D. And bringing a nice sense of balance. And I feel like you're building your life. You're putting that into your life now. You're structuring your life on a day-to-day basis where, you know, you are carving out time for meditation, for spending time with your spirit guides, you know, to keeping your spiritual practices, and yet at the same time carving in time to be able to create the material, to bring in the material things, the resources that will bring you the experiences that you are also wanting to have while you are here. All right, well, I'm going to leave it there. I really appreciate all of your support through liking, commenting, and subscribing, and I hope to see you again really soon. Bye for now.